Hey guys, welcome to another episode of New Zealand's Biggest Gap Year, where a couple of years ago, Robin and I did 365 days of 365 activities. And in today's story, we are going on a South Taranaki road trip. This is our final day exploring the Taranaki area, and we're going to pass through some of the towns, check out some of the museums and the main features and tourist attractions of the towns along the way. So enjoy the video and join me at the end where we're going to go through some of the questions and comments we received. So join me then.
Today is going to be a rather sad day because this is our final day in the Taranaki region. Then we hit the little town of Manaya, and Manaya, you sort of smell the town before you realise where you are.
So we just arrived in Manaya, which is the bread capital of New Zealand, and it smells delicious. We're right in front of the factory, just behind us, and we're gonna go in the factory store to get some cheap as delicious bread.
It smells like what dreams are made of. Freshly baked bread.
So we walk into the factory shop and we are surrounded by amazing prices. So for instance, they have 3 bags of Subway rolls for $1. Also, there's boxes of unbaked cookies and unbaked croissants for about $4. It's like 20 cookies you can bake for about $4.
Laura and I agree that I'm gonna pick 3 items only. For this reason, I control myself and only pick 6. And Laura just doesn't have a choice. So tonight when we arrive in the beautiful 42B College House in Wanganui, we will be baking for the whole hostel double chip cookies. We arrived in Hawera, the little town. Actually, it's not that little because that's the second biggest town of Taranaki after New Plymouth. So yeah, it's quite a big town. So we arrived in Hawera to look for the water tower. The good thing with water towers is that they're easy to spot. So we're just looking for the tallest building, which happens to be a tower. This is the water tower. It's 215 steps. So it should take about 3 hours to Laura to climb.
Oh God.
But I think she can do it. I believe in her.
If you want to go up the water tower, you have to pay $2.50. A lovely member of staff from the eyesight, and then she will unlock the door and let you into the tower to explore at your own pleasure. So that is exactly what we do. We don't count the number of stairs up there, but there is a lot. We're going in circles all the way up the tower. The inside's pretty cool. There's signs telling you some history of the tower and what a water tower even is, because I didn't know what a water tower was before I went to Hawera.
I have to squeeze myself to a very tiny staircase. You can see Taranaki from every angle.
At the top we get views of the whole of Hawera, which is quite a far-stretching town. And then you can see like farmland out in the distance, we can see the ocean, we can see a factory for where all the milk goes from all the dairy farming we've been doing. We're supposed to be able to see a view of Mount Taranaki. I can see like the ends of it at the bottom, but it's way too overcast today to see Mount Taranaki. But I imagine on a clear day, that obviously would be an amazing view.
We get the way down, get back in a van, and the same story starts again. We are driving toward Pattaya. We're arriving in the little town of Pattaya. I spy with my little eye a small museum, which is simply called the Pattaya Museum, and the sign simply says museum, so they don't bother with anything. And yeah, we have a few minutes to spare, so we are going to go check this one out. First thing first, the design of the building is gorgeous. It's all really new, and inside the whole collection design is really well done.
They have some really cool stuff in there. It's not all in an order that makes sense, but they have lots of really cool stuff there. So there's like an old 1900s car. They have like a fossilized baleen whale jawbone. Yeah, there's all sorts of really cool stuff in the museum.
Robin used to operate one of these. How many years ago did you operate one of them?
They're actually not that ancient. I mean, and the thing is, the technology hasn't evolved that much.
So
there's a lot of
avoiding the question.
No, there's a lot of cinema that have pretty archaic equipment, and it's the technology only recently evolved to digital, and only been happening in the last 10 to 7 years.
So did you used to go to a cinema with one of these in?
I'm not that old. You're not going to make me say it.
How long ago was this? There's a waka that they just found washed up on the side of the river.
A waka is a canoe in Maori, so they found this canoe washed up on the shore and they brought this to the museum to put on display. We're finally leaving the Taranaki region, and there's signs on the side of the road saying like, "You are leaving Taranaki. Why? Don't leave us. Why are you going?" Like, these signs go on for ages. These signs came out of nowhere, so unfortunately we didn't film them as we all passed, so yeah, that was quite funny.
So we arrive in 42B College House Hostel. This is where we're going to be spending our time in the small town of Wanganui while we explore around. It's actually a pretty big hostel. It's an old college house, well, hence the name, 42B College House.
Do we have to pay on donation? Do you have to pay on donation?
No, there's no Dalmatian for it. Water tower, not a dog. What?
Do we have to pay on by donation? How do we get in there?
Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed that video and got to see a part of New Zealand that, not many people get to see. Taranaki is really off the beaten trail. It's away from State Highway 1. You do have to take a detour if you are wanting to explore that side, the western side of the North Island. But I hope you realise that from watching our last few videos that Taranaki is definitely worth visiting. It's a really cool, different side of New Zealand. And that's kind of what we try to aim for with NZPocketGuide.com and this YouTube channel, is to show you parts of New Zealand that you've probably never heard of before as well, just so you can sort of get off the tourist trails and just explore more of New Zealand and see that there's more to offer than, well, in places like just Queenstown or Rotorua, for instance. There's definitely more to explore. So hope you enjoyed that video, and we do have at least one comment on this video, again because it's not very well known. I guess no one's really been searching for South Taranaki, but Unofficial Bucket List Family says, "This is a cool water tower, great view, love the video." It was a really cool view from the water tower, and it was so cheap to get up there as well. It's like, why not go up there and check out the views, take some photos. Usually on a clear day you can actually see Mount Taranaki from the top of the water tower, but there were clouds covering Mount Taranaki that day, which was a little bit annoying, but that's the weather for you. You can't get too upset about that. Anyway, if you do have any comments or questions of your own, feel free to put them in the comments below, and we answer all our comments in our YouTube videos. But otherwise, you can join us on our live Q&A session we do every single Sunday at 8 AM New Zealand time, right here on YouTube, where you can come onto the live chat and ask your questions to us about travelling in New Zealand. Otherwise, we do have NZPocketGuide.com, which is New Zealand's largest travel guide and basically the best place for you guys to go and learn about planning a trip to New Zealand, because we have thousands and thousands of articles about everything to do with travelling in New Zealand. Alright, hope that video was useful to you, and we will see you in the next episode of New Zealand's Biggest Gap Year.